Well, this kind of topic is important, and Lending Club is a great platform. So, in today's conversation, I want to speak to you about a massive personal loan from Lending Club. $40,000 maximum limit, fair credit, great credit, bad credit, good credit, all kinds of credit profiles are welcome. Don't go anywhere. You're going to love today's conversation. I guarantee it. Welcome back, folks, to another edition of the Awesome Sweetie Kiwi Show. How are you today? I hope you're all doing fantastic. I'm doing marvelous, if you are to ask me. If you are doing as splendid, as blessed as I am, go grab a cup of coffee, or tea, or vodka, and let's roll. In today's convo, I want to speak to you about a huge personal loan from Lending Club. Maximum loan amount, $40,000. Before we get into the actual nitty-gritty, please understand that this video is purely instructional, purely educational. We have no association, no relationship with Lending Club. They're not paying us for this video. We're just doing it because we want to share content with our viewers, okay? So let's talk about the loan facts here. So this loan, so when we talk about Lending Club, you have a constellation of several loans, okay? You have various loans. You have unsecured loans, secure loans, co-sign loans, debt consolidation loans, credit card consolidation loans, home improvement loans, okay? The maximum amount, as I said earlier, $40,000. The APR will oscillate between 4.69% and 29.99%. The fees, they have a hefty 5% origination fee. This is kind of high end, and this is something we have spoken about in other shows. Lending Club needs to reduce that, but this is beside the point. The loan term up to 60 months, the time to funding 24 to 48 hours, and there are no extra conditions. And when you think about Lending Club, you got to think about a trifecta, three important things. First, you apply. You apply within minutes. You get customized loan options based on what you tell the platform. Then you have to pick a loan offer. So you select the rate, term, and payment options you like best. And the third step is you get funded. So once your loan is funded, they will send you the money straight to your bank account or pay your creditors directly. So you can use the funds for credit card consolidation, balance transfers, personal loans, massive expenditures, debt consolidation loans, home improvement loans, you decide. And from Lending Club's website, what we've seen is that they said themselves that on average, personal loans from Lending Club Bank are offered at an APR of 15.95% with an origination fee of 5% and a principal amount of $15,800 for loans with term lengths of 36 months based on credit criteria and analysis of historical borrower from January 1st, 2021 to April 1st, 2021. So this is the kind of, but this kind of gives you an idea of what we're talking about here. So APR about 16%, 5% origination fee, and principal loan amount of $16,000. And the term 3 years. That's the average. Let me quickly talk to you now about the lender. So who is Lending Club? And folks, in this show, I am talking to you about a superb personal loan from Lending Club. Maximum loan amount, $40,000. All kinds of credit profiles are welcome. So let's talk about Lending Club. So Lending Club's personal loans are fit for fair, bad, and good credit borrowers, those who are looking to consolidate debt or finance large purchases, right? Maximum loan amount, $40,000. And the thing you have to understand here is that Lending Club is not the cheapest in the market, but they're more one of the quickest. In other words, they will fund your loan real fast, okay? So Lending Club is great for borrowers who have poor or fair credit. So we're talking here about FICO of 500 to all the way to 689. Borrowers who want to build credit or manage a budget, who want to consolidate debt and qualify for a rate that lowers their interest cost, okay? And so when we think about Lending Club, based on our analysis, we love the fact that they're affordable. We love the transparency in the loan process. We love the loan flexibility, and we love the customer experience. Great customer experience. They have a fully online application and loan approval process. They offer member center to help borrowers manage their money and credit, and they don't offer a mobile app to manage the loan, but they're working on it. So when we think about Lending Club, the pros and cons. Pros, they offer joint loan options. They offer direct payments to creditors with debt consolidation loans. They have soft credit check with pre-qualification, and they have the option to charge the payment date. So you can change the payment date, not charge, change. In terms of drawbacks, so borrowers can choose from two repayment term options only. They charge a 5% origination fee. I already spoke about that. This is very high. And borrowers cannot use the loan to refinance another personal loan. Okay, something you need to think about. So, and one thing I want to say, this is very important, folks. In July 2021, Lending Club agreed to pay $18 million to settle a lawsuit after the Federal Trade Commission alleged that the company did not disclose to loan applicants upfront the hidden fees it charged. So the FTC also alleged Lending Club told consumers they had been approved when they hadn't and took money from consumers' bank account without approval. So in response, Lending Club removed the no hidden fees statement from marketing materials and updated its loan options page to include origination fees and the total loan amount the consumers receives. Okay, I just want to disclose that. So everything is not rosy when you think about Lending Club. Now, they do have good stuff going on for them, but they also have been, they have messed up in the past. I think that they started actually cleaning up their act now, and we'll see how those things develop. And so after evaluating Lending Club on tens of criteria, including loan variety, loan amount, generosity, cost of reputation, and customer service, we assigned the company a score of 9 over 10. And so you can see on Trustpilot, they had about 4.8 over 5 from 2,068 reviews. On Consumer Affairs, they had 3.9 over 5 and from nearly 600 reviews. And on its own website, LendingClub.com, they had 4.83 over 5. But this should be taken with a grain of salt, right? Because it is Lending Club publishing its own reviews on its own website. So, I want to talk to you now about eligibility criteria, folks. In today's conversation, I am talking to you about what? I'm talking to you about a superb, massive personal loan from Lending Club, maximum loan amount $40,000. All kinds of credit profiles are welcome. If you have bad credit, you have fair credit, you have good credit, and if you're lucky to have stellar credit, you can still qualify. So to qualify for a personal loan from Lending Club, you must be a U.S. citizen, okay, or a green card holder. You got to be at least 18 years of age, and you need to have a verifiable bank account. And one thing you need to understand here is that people are, and Lending Club just mentioned that, they actually accept applications from all states in the union except Iowa and the U.S. territories, okay? And your loan application will be evaluated based on several factors, including the information provided by you and the credit bureaus. They will also look at your credit score and your ability to repay. This is one of the most important things here, the ability to repay. So I know in the past people talk about, well, with the Lending Club or other lenders, you need to have a job. Yeah, having a job is pretty good, don't get me wrong. But what matters the most and what's quintessential for a lender such as Lending Club or any other lender for that matter is your ability to repay. Do you have enough cash coming in every month? Do you have, are you heir to some kind of fortune? Do you have some kind of windfall? Do you have a bonus? Do you have do you have passive income? Whatever it is, if you're not working, but you have cash coming in, they'll take you, okay? One thing you need to understand here is that for the lowest rates, it helps if you have a higher than average credit score. So even though they accept the folks who have a FICO score of, let's say, 375 or 400, you might not qualify for the full amount of $40,000. You might probably get $10,000, and you might get a higher APR. Again, this comes with the territory. There's nothing you can do about it, right? If you also have a low debt to income ratio, it kind of helps. So for example, debt to income ratio is the amount of debt you have over the income you're pulling in every month. So for instance, if you're making, let's say, I'll be generous here, you're making $10,000 a month, and you have $5,000 or $6,000 of debt payment, your debt to income ratio will be 60% in case you make $6,000 in debt payment, okay? And normally experts want you to be around 40 or 50%. So people who are very conservative want you to even have a 1/3, so 30% of a debt to income ratio. Let's talk about the use of loan proceeds, folks. In this show, again, I am talking to you about a large personal loan from Lending Club. We have a maximum loan amount, $40,000. We have all kinds of credit profiles that are welcome. They will accept you, no problem, no personal guarantee. This is an unsecured loan. And so let's talk about the use of loan proceeds. Now, you can use a personal loan from Lending Club for almost any purpose, with a few exceptions. As I said earlier, you can't take out a loan from Lending Club to repay another loan. They'll do debt consolidation. They'll pay off your credit cards and all that kind of stuff, but not take out a loan to repay another loan. Unless you take out the loan yourself, you don't tell them upfront, and you take the loan proceeds to repay the loan, quietly without Lending Club knowing about it. Lending Club members often use personal loans to pay off credit cards at a lower rate. They can use the funds to consolidate debt or take care of unexpected home repairs and medical bills. So let's say if stuff happened, right? If stuff happens, you got an accident at work or at home, and you can't afford the medical treatment, you can use the Lending Club loan for that. Or let's say you have a huge emergency expense, something coming up in the house, or stuff just happens, right? Maybe a wedding, or maybe a travel, a very important trip, whatever it is. You can take out a loan from a Lending Club to sort of satisfy that desire. So a few ways a personal loan from Lending Club Bank cannot be used include anything related to education after high school, making investments such as securities or crypto, or illegal stuff. So you can't get a loan from Lending Club, again, unless you don't tell them beforehand. But if you tell them, they're not going to approve you. If you tell them that you are going to get the cash to buy crypto, Bitcoin, or whatever, they're not going to accept you. Or if you want to buy maybe Tesla stock because the stock is going up and you just trying to make a quick buck, no. If they find out, they will not appreciate it, and you might get in trouble. So this is important. And what I want to say is that if you have the right list of users of loan proceeds, the whole approval process will be very fast. In other words, you can be approved within 24 hours. Think about that. You're getting your cash within 24 hours. This is fantastic. Otherwise, they might ask you for additional information, and this might delay the whole application by a day or two, or in some cases, even 1 week. I'll be right back right after this. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back, folks, to another section of the Awesome Student Kiwi Show. We're also having a conversation about a very massive personal loan from Lending Club. Maximum loan amount, $40,000. If you have bad credit, if you have fair credit, if you have good credit, if you have excellent credit, you can qualify also. Everybody is welcome. Let's talk about the evidence needed, the kind of evidential matter you should provide to Lending Club to get approved for this loan. First of all, there are a few things that Lending Club wants to see on the application form. A few questions they will ask you on the application form. They'll ask you why you are applying for the loan, right? This is the use of loan proceeds question. How would the loan proceeds be used? Of course. What assets need to be purchased, if any? Car, home, boat. What other personal debt do you have, and who are your creditors? This is in case you want to consolidate your loan. If you have several loans you want to consolidate, or you want to consolidate your credit card debts. And another thing that Lending Club is really interested on the application, and they will ask you on the application, they will ask you whether or not this is a joint loan application. In other words, are you co-borrowing or co-signing this application? And they might want to have a little bit of information about your background, your personal background. So things like your job, how long you have been working at that company, how much you're making. And they, of course, you need to back up that info with pay stubs, with 1099s, with W-2s. And they will ask for, in some cases, if the amount is kind of high, if you're looking for $35,000 or $40,000, they might ask you for your tax returns. So your 1040, your 1040, yeah. And especially they want to look at your Schedule C if you have a side gig that you want to claim as a source of passive income on the application. They might also want to see your 1120 or 1065 if you let's say you have a business on the side. Okay, they might also want to see your personal financial statements importantly, your balance sheet, your income statements, and your statement of cash flows. And they might also want you to attach 3 months of bank statements to your application. Let's talk about how to apply, folks. How do you apply for this huge personal loan from LendingClub? We are speaking about a loan amount of $40,000 maximum limit, low credit, fair credit, good credit, all kinds of credit profiles are welcome. So you can actually apply through LendingClub only online. There is no branch to go to, even though the LendingClub has acquired a bank recently, and they're trying to change to shift their business model to become a full-size bank, But right now, if you want to get a loan from them, you can only do it through the website. So you just need to choose your offer. If your loan request is approved, you'll be able to review the loan amounts, interest rate, APR, monthly payments, and loan term. That's what we like about LendingClub. The soft pull part of things. You need to confirm your information, and then you get funded. So let's quickly go through the application. So you can see on the screen here. First, it will ask you who is applying. So in this case, we chose only one person. So this is not a joint application. This is a single application, and they'll ask you for your date of birth. Just put in your date of birth, and you click next. And they'll ask you how much income you make a year. You put it there. And if you have other sources of income, you want to check the box below the total individual income box. And then you click next. And then they're asking you the loan amount. So how much you need, you put in there, and you got to specify the loan purpose, right? So in this case, we put major purchase, and click next. And then here they want to have more info about you. So you have to put your name, your first name and last name. Click next. And then they want you to indicate your home address. So your street address, your city, your state, and your zip code. And click next. And then you have to put your phone number here. So this is you can choose mobile, landline, it doesn't matter. It's totally up to you. And click next. And then they want to have your email. So you put your email address. And you have to check the box that says that where you say that everything you put here is accurate. That you have read also several kinds of disclosures. And you put next. And then here they're telling you you're almost there. So you have to put in your email and password. So that once you're approved, you have an account with them. And then you click get your rates. And here, in some cases, if they need more information, they'll ask you to input your social. And then you click get your rates. And the algorithm will look for the rates for you for a few seconds. And then the next slide, they will tell you, unfortunately, your application was not approved. Normally, you should be approved. In this case, we just inputted fictitious data. That's why the system didn't recognize us. Otherwise, you should have a series of loan offers, okay? But it's kind of good to see what you might get if you get rejected, okay? The next slide here is that they will give you the letter that you will receive if your application was denied. So you can see the letter on the screen, the adverse action notice. All right, let's just talk about, let me give you a few pro tips on how to get approved, like how to really get approved for this massive, humongous personal loan from LendingClub. Maximum loan amount, $40,000. And the minimum is $1,000, and all kinds of credit profiles are welcome. So if you want to get approved fast, one thing you want to do is you want to keep your documents in order. Okay, your paperwork is very important. And what I mean by paperwork is, I mean the constellation of documents that go from your tax returns to your pay stubs to your 1099s. You also want to have your bank statements, and also you can have your financial statements. And listen, I'm not asking you, folks, I'm not asking you to have a PhD in accounting to do your own financial statements. No. As a matter of fact, nowadays there are so many free apps and software tools out there, including Xero, Wave, Expensify, and QuickBooks, that you can use any of them to actually prepare your own financial statements. And it shouldn't be that complicated. I mean, when we speak about financial statements, we're talking about balance sheets. So you have your assets in one column and your liabilities in your other column, and then you subtract your liabilities from your assets to have to get your net worth. And you do the same thing. You do something similar for your income statements. So you put in one column your income, and in the other column your expenses, and then you subtract your expenses from your income to get your disposable income. Hopefully, should be a positive number if you run your if you have a budget and you are pretty disciplined. And the third financial statement is your statement of cash flows. And this also, again, is pretty straightforward. So you want to keep your documents in order. You want to maintain good credit. Okay. This loan welcomes all kind of credit profiles, but when you get a chance, when you have an opportunity, you want to constantly work on your credit, right? You want to pay off your credit card balances every month. You want to be up to date on all your loans, all that kind of stuff. You don't open too many accounts at the same time. You avoid multiple inquiries. You also want to demonstrate sufficient cash flow. Cash flow, as I was telling you earlier, it's paramount. Okay, you might have a job, but if you're not pulling in enough cash to cover your expenses, your life costs, your lifestyle costs, then it wouldn't really matter. So it's not about having a job; it's about demonstrating sufficient cash flow. Also, you need to understand that Lending Club is different from other lenders. So if their conditions don't suit you, you can actually look elsewhere. All right, folks, this was it for today's conversation. I was talking to you about a massive personal loan from Lending Club, maximum loan amount $40,000 and minimum loan amount $1,000. And I gave you an overview, gave you the loan facts, the lender at a glance, eligibility criteria, the use of loan proceeds, the evidence needed, how to apply, and a few pro tips. Thank you so much for your attention. I really appreciate it. I will speak to you another time. But until then, remember, stay marvelous.